in the earliest centuries of the church, before the first Ecumenical Council, which was 325 AD in Nicaea, okay, that's the first time the church gathered together, you had all these various creeds that existed. Many creed formulas in the first century, second century. And so they existed before the Nicene Council. But as controversies around heresies grew, there needed to be an ecumenical council to figure these things out. And as I said, all the early heresies were Christological. Almost all the heresies were Christological. They confused who Jesus Christ is, who that person is. So the Nicene Creed comes out of the Nicene Council. They get together, they clarify doctrine, and the council produces a creed. So that's what happens with the Nicene Creed, which is what we say in Holy Communion service. And that was defending against the Arian heresy. A man named Arius, who wrote a lot of hymns to promote his bad theology, because people remember songs. And so one of his quips was, there was a time when he was not. Meaning there was a time when Jesus didn't exist. So that the Son was created. He was a created being. Well, of course, Athanasius defends the eternality of God at the Council of Nicaea. And so we get the Nicene Creed, which is guarding against that specific heresy. And we say in the Creed, in your notes, and then one more, Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God, begotten, not made. He was not a made person, he's not a creature. He is eternally God. So this is how we get that formula in the Nicene Creed. Does that make sense? Then, of course, the Athanasian Creed is treated at St. Athanasius in the 500s. And again, the Arian controversy really didn't go away. It took a long time to really put that one to rest. But also, there began to be heresies formulating around who the Holy Trinity is. Okay, well, we think we know who Jesus is, but who's the Holy Trinity? And that's why the Athanasian Creed, and we will say the Athanasian Creed in 2 weeks on Trinity Sunday, very thoroughly goes through who the Father is, who the Son is, and who the Holy Spirit is. And so again, the Creed was safeguarding the doctrine of the Trinity, the Chalcedonian definition of the Trinity. And so that's how we get the ecumenical creeds, because they're forged out of the controversies of the church. Ecumenical being the whole church agreed this is what is to be rightly understood, versus heresy and heterodoxy. Okay? And I listed the first four councils there: Nicaea 325, Constantinople, Ephesus, Chalcedon, and then the Nicene Constantinople Fifth Council really just reaffirmed a lot of the things that were in the first four councils. Okay? But every one of those councils is tied to somebody that was a heretic or heretics. The church had to get their arms around it. That's why they have these meetings. Okay? All right. And so we have the ecumenical creeds. We have the Apostles, the Nicene, and we have the Athanasian Creed. These are the three creeds that the historic churches acknowledge: Anglican, Roman. The Eastern have some tweaks to certain things, but these are the three historic creeds. Okay? And this is what defines what it means to be a Christian, what we must believe as Anglicans. There's nothing else. Yes?
Can you, I don't know, too slightly, but talk about the filioque clause? That's the difference between us and the Greeks, and how that's not a heresy, how it's not a heresy we're just talking about.
Yeah.
Because I have Arianism, how it's not.
Is anybody familiar with the filioque controversy other than our student in the back? Okay, so filioque is the clause, Jesus, he's begotten out of name, the Holy Spirit processing from the Father. So the Holy Spirit processes from the Father, or emanates from Him. The Western Church added, and the Son. Right? And we say the Nicene Creed, the Holy Spirit processed from the Father and the Son. Okay? Well, when the Western Church said we need to put and the Son, to protect, again, the fact that the Son is also eternally God, and that He's not different in substance, right? Same substance, being one in substance. Okay, so it's trying to safeguard those things, again, about Christ. Well, the Eastern Church got really upset because they felt that it's really hard to back up in Scripture that the Holy Spirit processes specifically from Jesus Christ the Son. When really the Holy Father is the origin of the Spirit. We think about it in the Scriptures and the Gospels that we've been reading through Easter time. The Father the Spirit is the gift of the Father that is sent by the Son. So you can get into semantics. Long story short, when the Western Church put processes from the Father and the Son, that filioque clause and the Son is really what the beginning of the split between the Eastern and Western Church was. And so the Eastern Church doesn't have that statement in their creed. The Western Church has retained that. What's important is that neither one of them are wrong. Because they're both right. The Western Church just added that language to protect certain things. But it's a big difference between the Eastern and the Western churches. Is that sufficient here? So if you ever go to an Eastern Orthodox church, they're not going to say and Son, so don't say.
But they say it in the next line, so proceeds from the Father and the Son, who with the Father and the Son. Neither one.
It's important to note that Maximus the Confessor found there to be no difference between receiving from the Father and the Son and receiving from the Father through the Son.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, because in Latin, quay can be translated either through or from.
And that's one other thing, but the other thing that really hurt the discussion is language. The Latin and Greek, ousios, substance, and being, those words got really confused between the fathers, between the Greeks and the Latins, and it did not help. And language was a barrier in that whole debate. But that's a whole other class. It's a great point. Thank you. Okay, so we've got the Ecuminical Creeds, the 3, and I want to talk specifically about the Apostles' Creed for the last few minutes that we have. Quick development of the Apostles' Creed, dated at 200, because by 200, it's very clearly evidence that it's in use, close to basically the form that we have today. The tradition is that the Apostles' Creed was actually written by the apostles. The tradition is that after the ascension of the Lord, they're looking up, and the angel says, "Why are you looking up?" Go on, and it says they returned to Jerusalem with great joy and worshiped Him. They got together and they wrote the consensus of what the apostolic faith was, because they were going to be being sent out, and so they needed to have a common faith. If they're going to all go to different parts of the world, what are we going to be telling people it is to be a Christian? So there's lots and lots of documentation, evidence, and tradition that talks about attributing the Apostles' Creed to the 12 apostles. St. Augustine will say that each apostle wrote one of the articles, because the Apostles' Creed breaks down into 12 articles. So a lot of people will say, "Oh, that doesn't sound right." But if you actually stop to think about why they would do that, and that they could do that, and that they were enabled to do that, it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of evidence for it. But we don't need to get hung up on that, because we can't actually prove it. That is the tradition in the church. Now, the Apostles' Creed is something that must be known by all Christians. As the Lord's Prayer is the prayer of prayer, the Ten Commandments, the law of law, the Creed is the Creed of Creeds. Those are the 3 things you have to know as a Christian. Creed, Commandments, the Lord's Prayer. So we talked about apostolic origin. And I wanted you to look at this table, if you have that table in your notes. What this is showing you is, it's showing the apostolic consensus of the Creed. So on the left hand, you have the books of the Bible, Gospels and Epistles, Acts and Epistles. And then you have across the top right, going to the right, the different doctrines. And then the numbers represent the statements of Scriptures that speak to those things. So you can see the great apostolic consensus on what they all believe the same thing. Okay, that's a Holy Spirit gift. But this is a nice little chart that shows that apostolic consensus, preparing them for their missionary work. In AD 220, 221, we see documentation of the Apostles' Creed being used in baptismal confessions in Rome. The present form that we hold in our purpose today on either side probably goes back to about the 7th or the 8th century in its present form. he descended into hell was language that was added to Rufinus. And again, that was a clarification at the time. It needed to be added by the church because they felt that it needed to be added to guard against certain teachings and beliefs that were going on. We won't get into the explication of the creed point by point in this class, but you have to understand that when it says he descended into hell, that word is translated Hades. Hades is the place of the dead. It's where people go to die. Hell is not yet been created. You have to read Revelation. It's yet to be created. Hell doesn't really exist yet. It's gonna exist, and then the devil and his cohorts are going to be thrown into the deepest parts of Tartarus. The place of the dead is Sheol in the Hebrew. Hades is the Latin, the Greek. So when you die, you go into the place of the dead. Okay? When Jesus died, he went into Sheol. You see this in the Psalms. This is where Job went when he died. Or not Job, I'm sorry. Who was in the fish? Jonah. When Jonah died, he went into Sheol. He says, I went into Sheol. Okay? Jesus says that this day you will be with me in paradise. Because the blessed, the righteous, the place of the dead has two compartments. It has paradise, where Lazarus is, and it has Hades, the place of death, where the rich man is, that he can't get the water from Lazarus, who he seems to conceive, but yet they're separated forever. That's what Hades is, the place of the dead. He didn't go into hell. Okay, so there's a lot of confusion on that. That's
paradise also being called Abraham's bosom.
Yeah, Abraham's bosom, paradise, Sheol, this is the same language. Same place. Okay? Great. All right, so any questions on just the development of the creed? You read in Augustine's Confessions of 2 or 3 converts that he records in his book that impacted his life as he was becoming a saint, where they talk about making their public profession of faith at the baptism and how that struck him. That man who was such a pagan philosopher, yet here he is now professing Christ. I mean, so any questions on that at all in terms of apostolic origin or development of the creed?
I have one on the Ecumenical Councils.
Yes.
Councils do recognize.
So yeah, great question. How many councils do we recognize as Anglicans? Well, we certainly recognize the first 5 councils. We generally recognize the first 7 councils. The Eastern Church disputes that the 6th and 7th councils were ecumenical because not everybody was present. So there's always been an argument whether the 6th and the 7th were ecumenical or not. There's enough representations there. But the first 5, for sure, no one disagrees that they were ecumenical councils of the Unified Church. That's really where Anglicanism draws its doctrine and draws its understanding of the faith and worship, is from the first 5. The second 2 are helpful, but the issues that were being dealt with are really kind of dealt with in the first 5. You have secondary issues in the 6th and 7th. So I would say generally 7, but we're really concerned and looking at the first 5. Okay. Roman Church continued to have councils. Right, and the problem with councils is who calls the council?
A bunch of people.
Only a king. So we have a little bit of a problem, don't we? I mean, is Donald Trump a king?
Well,
Sometimes. So my point is that, the church doesn't just call itself. I mean, we do now, we have meetings. But, ecumenical councils have to be called by a sovereign king, call the church together and say, hey, you guys need to figure this out. So, yeah, great question. Any last question before I direct you to the end of this? My last statement on this. Yeah, yes.
This might be a lot, but it's what's the importance of mentioning Pontius Pilate's name?
Great question. So what's the importance of mentioning Pontius Pilate's name? Who wants to take a stab at that? What would be a good reason for that? Well, number one, it ties into history. It actually happened. Okay, so that's one. Number two, Pontius Pilate is specifically a character in the gospel narratives. So we attribute, we acknowledge his role in the crucifixion because it's basically very visible, and he's a very prime character in the Holy Scripture narrative, the Gospels of Jesus' crucifixion. It also, in a sense, represents Rome. It represents the power and authority apart from God's people who also were implicit in the crucifixion of the Lord. So in a way, Pontius Pilate brings in this idea that the whole world crucified. We never blame the Jews for this crucifying the Messiah. The whole world crucified Jesus. And so Pontius, in a way, also represents the pagan nation and the Gentile nation as well. That's a great question. Great question. Any more questions? Okay, the last thing I would have you look at, over this week, this content of the Apostles' Creed, which I took from Blunt in his expository paraphrase of the Apostles' Creed. It's a really, really good document to read through. And it just basically amplifies and builds upon the creed and personalizes it. And really brings out some really good theological points. Makes you think about the impact and the implications of the creed on your own soul. But I would like for you to read through this sometime this week. Maybe as you're doing morning prayer or evening prayer, you could say this in addition to the Apostles' Creed and morning prayer, and say it out loud. But this is a great little explication. We will have a class, I'm not sure if it'll be this fall, but we're going to go deeper into the theology of the articles of the Creed. What we've tried to do today is to give you more of an overview of the Apostles' Creed and the Creeds in general. But I commend this to you as well. So if there's not any other questions, we're at our close.
I just have
Yes.
one. So in thinking about what you said about paradise, today you will be with me in paradise, and then thinking about what Paul said, that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord, I think most people associate that with heaven. But is it paradise?
Yeah, so great question. So quickly, and again, is this in the Creed? I believe in paradise.
No.
Right, so we're in secondary discussions. But the idea is that one way to think about this is that Paul says that when Jesus, the one who ascended also descended, right? He went down into Hades. And Peter says that he preached the gospel to those who were in the place of the dead, right? Are you familiar with that scripture passage? And then he says, and then he released those and led captivity captive. And Paul talks about Jesus' resurrection actually leading a train of saints out of Hades. Okay? So the idea is that Jesus went to the place of the dead, mocked death, and basically preached hope in the gospel, and took the Old Testament saints out of the place of the dead, where Moses and the Hebrew chapter 11 saints are, and either A, brought them into paradise, where he is, so presence, or they went up into heaven and are now with him in spirit. You can go either way with that. Okay? What he did is he emptied Hades, emptied it out of the saints, the Old Testament saints, and left the rich man there and Lazarus here. So that's the imagery. So when you die, you go into the presence of God now. Maybe in paradise, maybe it is heaven, don't know. But we're not going to fully experience the presence of God until we're reunited with our bodies. Then we will have the fullness of our salvation and the fullness of God in us and in Him. So, yeah.
So in preaching the gospel to the dead, is that implying that there was another chance for some of the dead to believe?
Yeah, so there's all kinds of things that get built off of this text. And usually the craziest discussions in church are always backed up by one person. So, yeah, I mean, universalists take his emptying of hell as everybody saved. And they've taken that text and said, He saved everybody, so everybody's going to be saved. There's all kinds of ways you can go with it. Yeah, that's a conversation for probably, because that's a long conversation.
Question.
But C.S. Lewis, in The Great Divorce, if you read that, his idea is that until the final judgment occurs, that grace is being extended to those that are in this place of paradise or Hades. And that's why, are you familiar with that book, Great Divorce? So there's a gray town, and then there's the far country with the trees and the beautiful gardens and everything. And so that's both sides of Hades and paradise. Because they're not yet at the mountaintop, and the sun hasn't set yet in Gray Town bringing final judgment to where now it's hell. And he says that right now, it's, I don't know, but when the judgment comes, those who remain in Gray Town will have realized that they've always been in hell. And those who are in the mountaintop will realize that every time, everywhere they've ever been is heaven. So for Lewis, and this isn't, he doesn't write as a theological treatise, he's constructing this afterlife where people have opportunities to move. And Jeremy Taylor, who was one of the great English theologians, post-Reformation, he wrote about the refrigerator, the excursions that the dead could take before judgment, where they would be able to go to different places and get out of some of their issues. So this theology of the dead moving is where we get hauntings from. That the dead sometimes they get excursions, they get to leave the places that they're at. The wild card is that, who knows, because nothing's final until judgment happens. But I think we're getting off into heterodoxy and some strange stuff, because we would all probably understand that once you die, there is no way to come back. And I think the Lazarus and the rich man is a really good illustration of that. Can he just dip his finger in the water? Well, then send them to my brothers. Tell them to leave, so that they don't end up lying back. It says, even if one would be raised from the dead, they would not believe. So